Let's turn our attention to the art world. Vincent van Gogh was a famed painter from France. His masterpieces were once confined to the frames of canvases, but they are now liberated and vividly brought to life in an innovative blend of education and entertainment that is happening right here at the Oro Valley Marketplace. It is the critically acclaimed Van Gogh Immersive Experience, and we are joined by the man that has put this whole thing together, John Zaller. And John, obviously, let's just maybe first give the folks a background on Vincent van Gogh, a troubled but brilliant artist from France who basically created his entire wealth of work in about the final 10 years of his life.
That's right, David. He was an incredibly talented painter, revolutionized painting as we know it today. His style has never really been replicated because it's so extraordinarily unique. And Van Gogh, while born in the Netherlands, did produce the majority of his seminal works that we know the best in the south of France. And guests get to experience his entire body of work. Over 450 of his works are presented in this incredible 8,000 square foot digital immersion gallery. But there's also several other parts of the exhibit where his works come to life physically, like you can walk into his bedroom painting. You can look at reproductions of his works that you'd have to travel all of Europe and a lot of the U.S. to see if you were going to actually see them all assembled together. And really gives you a great appreciation of the artist and really wakes up the artist within you as well.
It's interesting you mentioned immersive. That's kind of becoming an interesting term in terms of the first time I really got a hold of it was when I went to Universal Studios last summer, and the things that you see now at the Disney World complex, where a lot of the rides now are just this massive visualization that the digital life has allowed us to bring into our amusement park experiences now. And that is essentially what this is. I mean, and let's even break it down further into how you mentioned the famed 1888 bedroom scene. You literally get to walk in and see kind of how this artist lived at that time.
That's absolutely right. So he lived in a small village called Arles in the south of France, and it was really inspirational for him. He didn't really get to travel that much in his life because he had very, very limited resources. So a lot of times he always painted what was in front of him. And we feature that part of his life in a small immersive gallery that I like to call Van Gogh's Many Vases, where we feature dozens and dozens of his flower paintings that really allowed him to hone his craft. But when he got to Arles, he lived in a yellow house, and he had a bedroom where his works were all around him. And he painted that bedroom scene 3 different times while he was there. And we're featuring one of those paintings as a complete build-out, so you can actually step into his painting. And that's part of what the immersive experience is for us. The immersion has, as you said, it's kind of a buzzword now, but we've used that as a guiding principle for over 10 years in terms of taking you out of your everyday and placing you in an environment where you really are transported and hopefully, to a certain degree, transformed by the work that you're experiencing.
John Zaller with the Van Gogh Experience is our guest. This is the final week to see it here in Tucson. It ends on Saturday up at the Oro Valley Marketplace. We mentioned that Van Gogh dealt with a lot of mental issues throughout his life, committed suicide at the age of 37. How does this exhibition delve into the personal, emotional aspects of his journey as an artist and shedding new light on his art and legacy?
So Van Gogh's a very well-known artist in terms of these iconic pieces. So everyone knows Starry Night. A lot of people know the Sunflower series and Wheatfield with Crows. So we definitely feature those elements. We do feature all 11 of Van Gogh's sunflower paintings. When I was a kid, we had one sunflower painting up in the kitchen. It wasn't the original. It was a copy, of course. but I always thought there was one when I was growing up. And then when I started working on this project several years ago, I was amazed to see that there's 11. And again, it's the artist working through the process of perfecting his craft, using over 30 shades of yellow in some of those paintings. And yellow is a color that really evokes happiness, evokes joy. And with those struggles he had, which, he was diagnosed after his death with several disorders: epilepsy, alcoholism, bipolar disorder, borderline personality disorder. But he always was looking for the brightness. And that's why he was so drawn to all these really rich colors. So that's, we talk about that. We also talk about the fact that Van Gogh had, and you can learn this in a small documentary theater we have in the Experience, Van Gogh had a really difficulty with his vision in terms of seeing contrasting colors. So think about an artist who's nearly colorblind, still pushing forward to create these incredible works. Part of the reason he used those broad brushstrokes and those really bold colors was because he needed to be able to see what he was creating. I will also say, while the show has been scheduled to wrap up this weekend, we're looking at an extension because we've had great success. We've had great support from the community, and we're really grateful to Tucson, Oro Valley, all of Arizona for coming out to experience the show.
Yeah, you mentioned, obviously, I mean, I was looking at your website. This show is in a lot of major cities. How did Tucson get so lucky to have the opportunity to host this show?
Well, Tucson is a wonderful place for artists to come as a refuge, to come as a place for inspiration. It's an incredibly breathtaking environment that where nature surrounds you. And Van Gogh's work is so focused on nature. We saw it as a great complement to the natural surroundings, but also to the cultural surroundings, because there's so many artists there and so many people who support the arts that we just had a sense that this was going to be a great market for this. And we look to markets like Tucson, where some people might say, oh, let's go to Phoenix or let's go to a larger city. But we want to make sure that this experience gets out there all across the United States and around the world. And we saw Tucson as the perfect market to do that.
John Zaller is joining us. He is behind the Van Gogh Experience, which is happening at the Oro Valley Marketplace. You mentioned that it could be extended the stay here, but you can go out and see this today. Also, tomorrow, they take breaks on Tuesday and Wednesday, and then Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Tickets begin at $18 for kids, up to $50 for a VIP experience. What is a VIP experience with this? I can't wait to hear about that, John.
Well, I'm glad you asked, David. So with the VIP includes a virtual reality tour of the south of France as seen through the eyes of Vincent van Gogh. So it really is, in many ways, the grand finale to the show. As you go through our immersive experience, we take you through this immersive experience funnel, if you will. You first learn about the artist through text panels and incredible research on the artist. You see reproductions of his work. You get to experience these smaller immersive galleries, a documentary, film, Van Gogh's many vases. And then you see his work in 3D, where you get to step into his bedroom painting. You get to experience his courtesan painting with all of its layers kind of exposed in front of you in an anamorphic design. The immersive gallery, the crown jewel of the show, a 35-minute loop where you get to see over 400 of Van Gogh's works. But then you go into our virtual reality gallery. You put on a pair of virtual reality headsets, and you're not only inside of the artist's works, but now you're seeing those works through his eyes as you journey through the south of France, that town of Arles we talked about, and you literally can look all around and be in the landscape that inspired 10 of his most iconic paintings.
That is unbelievable.
And the virtual reality also includes a VIP lanyard and then a gift in the merchandise shop. So there's some nice elements there that you can add on to your package if you're going out with your friends, if you're going out as a family group. It's a really nice sort of complete experience. It's the greatest hits and a complete experience of the whole show.
How do folks get these tickets for the show here at Oro Valley?
So the best way to get tickets is to go to vangoghexpo.com, and you select Tucson, and you're off to the races. We've set up the ticketing, so within a minute you've got your tickets and you're ready to go.
You are with an outfit called Exhibition Hub, a curator and distributor of world-renowned immersive exhibitions. Are there other artists that you guys are currently doing these types of shows with or planning in the future?
So we have a couple very exciting shows. One's based on Claude Monet, a French painter who, unlike Van Gogh, lived for a long, long time. And that is one of the questions we do ask when we talk about Van Gogh's mental health struggles is, what would his work have been had he lived to the ripe old age of 86 like Monet? We also feature Exhibition Hub is actually based in Brussels in Belgium, and so we feature the Belgian artist Magritte in a very surreal, because he was a surreal artist, in a very surreal environment. We have an immersive experience on Salvador Dali, which is incredible in terms of, especially with the VR, where you're actually walking around a massive space, exploring Dali's work as though you're on a ship sailing across a surreal ocean. And then we have some other exhibits on dinosaurs, terracotta warriors, and are always looking at new experiences. And I hope that we're going to be able to bring a bunch of these to Oro Valley Marketplace in the years to come.
It is the Van Gogh Experience happening right now at the Oro Valley Marketplace. John, where exactly in the marketplace is it? Is it in one of the buildings there?
Yes, so it's right sort of in the heart of the marketplace. We're actually between Petco and Ashley Furniture, so we're easy to find. You just if you come down Tangerine or you're coming up Oracle, we're just about halfway. Right down from the movie theater.
Outstanding. Hey, John, we appreciate you taking some time to join us today and educate us on this fantastic immersive experience, the Van Gogh Experience out at the Oro Valley Marketplace. You can go out there and see it today. It lasts until about 7 o'clock this evening. Appreciate your time, John. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much, David. Really enjoyed it.